Hi, Jesy.
Hi.
You're right.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm really happy to see you. I was
too.
thinking on my way in. The last time I saw you was at a bowling
Bowling.
alley.
I literally. That's so weird.
I know. We were both bowling.
I know.
That's so ridiculously random.
How long ago was that?
That was so long ago. So that was one of my kids' birthday parties. So I was really. You saw me like at my worst probably, trying to sort of sheep herd 10 kids that were not listening to me. I reckon that was about 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years, yeah.
I mean, so much has happened in that 2.5 years.
Know.
And I'm really excited to talk today because it seems from the outside that this is a moment in your life that's a bit of a reset.
Yes, literally.
Would that be correct?
Yeah, massively. It's crazy because I just feel like my whole life's been like a massive roller coaster. But this is the first time for me that I've like taken control of my life and been like, I'm actually now going to look after myself and genuinely do what makes me happy. So yeah, it's been a real big change.
I think it's important to really, I guess, notice when you're in that moment of I'm resetting, everything's going to change, and it's for positive reasons, and it's because you feel like that intuitively you need to change your life.
Yeah,
but it's kind of, any change is scary, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
But I was shitting myself when I made the decision because it's all I've ever known. And I honestly was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, and then I had obviously a bit of like time away, and it's crazy because I was so go when I was in the group. Like, we never had time to just be by ourselves, and the only time I had that was lockdown. And for me, that was when I realized, oh wow, okay, this isn't for me anymore. Like, it was, and it sounds crazy because obviously we were in a pandemic and there was like awful things going on, but it was the first time I'd felt like true peace and happiness that I hadn't felt in such a long time. And that was the biggest wake up call for me, when I was like, okay, I need to do something about this, because it's not normal that I'm going back to work and I feel depressed. And it's been 10 years of my life that I've felt like that. So yeah, I just really felt like I needed to look after myself.
It's so interesting when we don't stop and we just keep on going, even though we might have an inkling that something's not working. But I think it's so prevalent in everyone's lives. We don't give ourselves any time to stop and go, how do I actually feel? And I guess for a lot of people, the pandemic was that pause.
Yeah.
It was, how am I dealing with life? Am I happy in this, whatever it is, job, relationship, geographically where I'm at?
Yeah.
And it just gave us all, not everybody, but it gave a lot of people time to really reflect.
Yeah.
And for you, you've acted on it, you know, this sort of change of life, this reset. And it seemed like you deleting your Instagram was quite a visual way of doing that as well. Like, did that feel cathartic? Like you were almost wiping the slate clean?
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously, I don't ever want people to think that I'm just like, right, bye, Little Mix. Like, that's because I had, like, obviously I've had a mental journey in Little Mix, and I've had a lot of lows, but I also had some like incredible times in Little Mix, and they are like my sisters. And, you know, I've so lucky that I got to have that platform, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to do the stuff that I'm doing now. But yeah, no, it is like a clean slate for me now, and I think it's really important because the way I was feeling wasn't healthy, like it wasn't normal, and I knew that I had to like make a change.
So you said in that first Instagram post that this is a new chapter for you.
Yeah.
What do you want that to be?
Well, obviously I'm making new music now, which is so exciting because like Little Mix, I loved the music that we did, but it's not the music that I would listen to. Like, I am a massive R&B, hip hop, like people that know me and friends and family, like that's what I grew up on, and that's like my true passion. So yeah, so that's now like, I'm now creating the music that's like me, and that feels like so liberating. Like, I feel so free, like just being able to create and do whatever I want, and like wake up and just be like, I'm going to do this today, instead of like having my life planned out and not having a say in it. So yeah,
it's exciting. I mean,
It's
your
so
face
exciting.
is literally lighting up talking about it, which is so lovely.
Yeah.
Because that's what you know, I listened to the new single and it's so brilliant, and you can feel it, like the
you.
energy behind it, and that
Thank
you're
you so
enjoying it,
much.
and that it's fun, and that's what life's all about, isn't it?
Definitely. But yeah, that like, I didn't really realise that until lockdown. It's crazy because obviously I've been doing it for 10 years, but yeah, like that was such a wake up call for me. And like we've said, like you literally live once, and like life's far too short to be in something that's not making you happy. And yeah, I just really wanted to take control and just, yeah, make myself feel good again. And I didn't even know that that was going to be me going down a solo career and doing music. Like, I just wanted to get my head right. And I had 2 friends that have like I've stayed really close with, who worked with us, worked with Little Mix on our music, and they were like, why don't you just come into the studio and like, no, do you want to write for other people or just play around and have fun, like we just wanted to take my mind off of like everything that was going on. And went in, and the first song that we wrote was the first single, which is crazy because
Wow.
that normally never happens. Like, it's normally like a process and it takes quite a long time, but everything's happened just so naturally, and I feel like it's not meant to be.
It was waiting to be released. It was just
Yeah,
sat in you, waiting to come out.
And it's crazy because like, I didn't realise how much I loved writing until now. Like, obviously I did like bits and bobs in Little Mix, but I think when you're telling your story, it's completely different. Like, it's so hard as well to get across your story when there's 4 people in a song. But yeah, like, I've got so many stories to tell, and it's just nice.
It's so brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for you, first of all, and I'm so happy to see you happy
Thank
and
you.
looking happy
Thank
and
you
sounding
so
happy,
much.
and your music's
Thank you.
just expressing that. It's really beautiful. And I read there was an interview that you did. I think it was your first interview post leaving Little Mix with your friend Felicity, and you were talking all about the reasons behind you leaving and explaining that very generously. And you were really honest in saying, you know, a lot of the time you were compared to the other 3 girls. It was sort of relentless for you. And that had a detrimental effect on you.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think I've been quite open and honest, especially obviously when I did my documentary. I think people know that like I've really struggled. But I think it's what's the shit is obviously when I entered like the music industry, I just thought it was always going to be about music, and it ended up being about my appearance, and it really, really like mentally messed with my head. And I don't think like anyone realizes the extent of how much it messes with someone's head until you're in that. Like, to be in a girl group, there's like, it's so much pressure, and yeah, to be compared every single day to 3 other girls was draining, and I couldn't deal with that anymore. And I think a lot of people have like misconstrued like what I meant in my statement. Like, they're like, oh, so now she's going solo. Like, I never said in my statement I'm coming out of the music industry, I'm not going to do music anymore. I said I'm just going to start a new chapter of my life. I just want to make myself happy. I don't know what that's going to be, but I need to look after myself now, make myself, you know, feel better again. And, you know, some people are not supportive of that and some people are, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, it wasn't nice for Jade and Leanne and Perry to be around when I was so down. Like, they were living their dream, and I wasn't. Like, I felt very miserable and trapped, and that's not, like, I knew that wasn't right.
Well, it's so hard as well because we all know that sort of compare and despair model, that if we compare ourselves to others, it's not going to be good. But for a lot of people in the public eye, especially if you're in a girl band, you might not be comparing yourself to anybody else, but everyone's comparing you to them. So it's sort of inescapable. And, you know, I know that feeling. You know, how many people have I been compared to that sort of blonde presenters, and I might be the sort of weirder one or the not so sexy one or whatever, and it's like, do I have to be in this hierarchy of why can't I just be me? Well, I have to fit into a box of what, and I know on a much lesser extent that plays havoc mentally with how you feel about yourself and your self-worth. And I don't know if it's even possible to summon enough strength to still feel okay about yourself with all of that outside noise. And from watching your documentary, we could see the full extent of that. I mean, it was horrendous, and it was bullying. It was simple, straight up bullying that you were subjected to all day, every day. And in the documentary, you explain that prior to X Factor, these weren't issues you were thinking about. You were just living your life, happy, doing your thing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, this bombardment of abuse. Do you think, I don't know if the documentary was part of this and the therapy you've done since, but do you feel you've healed from that situation?
I would say like 60% of me has. Like, I will never sit here and lie and be like, oh, I'm like so happy now, like I don't have any insecurities, as that's an absolute lie. I still have my insecurities, I still have my struggles. I guess the thing that I'm just feel I'm better with now is that silly little things. Like now when I do a music video, I'm not looking on the camera and thinking, oh my God, I don't look as skinny as Jay, Leanne and Perry. I don't like, and that's what I did every single day. And like for the first time ever, I did my music video and I enjoyed it. Like I absolutely loved it. And I was like, this is the feeling I should have had the whole time. And yeah, like I know people might not get it, but I think until you're in that situation, no one will ever really understand like how much pressure there is to be in a girl band and to like live up to like a certain standard of what you're supposed to look like when you're in a girl band.
And also just sort of anticipating a commentary about it. Like that's normal for people to then dissect anything about you, what you look like, what you sound like, what you're saying. That was so normalised for you that you would 100% expect a reaction of some kind after putting a video out, after a photo shoot. And that's not normal, but we've somehow we're so used to that. Oh yeah, everyone can say anything they want about anything now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Without any thought or, you know, just consideration that you're a human being.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I still find it mental that there's no there's nothing been put in place yet still, like any laws for Instagram and Twitter. And it's still mental to me that's still not happened. But I don't know. I think it's different for me now because I'm now in a headspace where I can like genuinely sympathise actually with people that say nasty things, because I think, God, you must have something really deep rooted, like an issue within you to want to do that, because me and you would never go around thinking, oh, I'm going to create a fake account and say nasty things to people. Like, you've actually got to be quite a sad person to want to do that. Whereas back then I didn't have that mindset. I just genuinely felt like everyone hated me. So, but I feel really scared for, like, the younger generation growing up now.
I feel so scared.
Yeah, like, because I obviously never had social media growing up. Like, I just felt like I had a great childhood, like, with my friends. I didn't worry about anything, to be honest. And now I feel like it's just all about what people look like and how much money you've got and how well you're doing. And yeah, I do feel sorry for kids now.
I do, because what does that equate to? If you tick all the boxes as to what's going to get likes, what does that even mean? It doesn't equal happiness.
No.
I mean, you've proved that. You're like a massively successful, famous pop star, gorgeous, doing your thing, and you were deeply unhappy. So like, we know that equation doesn't add up, but we still are working towards it. And I wonder, like, what's your relationship like with social media now? Do you look at any comments?
No, I don't, to be honest. Like, my team have my Instagram, and like, I'll have days when I genuinely want to go on Instagram. And if I go on Instagram, it's because I don't have Twitter. I will never have that ever again. But with Instagram, if I want to go on there, I'll go on there. And normally I'll go on there to genuinely just chat to my fans. Some people might think it's a bit weird, but like, some of them have genuinely become my friends, which is really nice. And like, they'll just chat to me about like their day and if they've got any issues or problems they're going through, and I generally like to chat to them and help them with that. And then like, sometimes I'll post content, but I don't really like to go on there because I feel like it's quite a... I mean, don't get me wrong, there's like, obviously there's a lot of positive things about Instagram, but there's quite a lot of negative, and I feel like it can really cloud my headspace when I go on there.
Yeah, well, when you've been through what you've been through as well, with that level of toxicity, I get it. You know, I've had it to some extent over my career, and I, like you, grew up before you, but with no social media. And I had a really, really awful patch where I felt everybody was saying stuff about me, and it was really negative, and it was untrue. And I still have a warped relationship with it, where I'll look at it, and some days I think, I can look at this and I don't feel affected by it at all, the negative or the positive. Yeah. And then other days you're almost looking to torture yourself.
Literally.
You want to sort of berate yourself and like punish yourself.
Yeah, it's so weird. That is literally the relationship that I had with it. From the beginning of when I started X Factor, I became obsessed with it. But I was like, rationalise it in my head as though like, oh, well, if I keep reading these horrible comments, I'll just get used to seeing them. And then when I do see something bad, I'm so used to seeing it that it won't hurt as much. But it was the complete opposite. And yeah, but I'm very similar to you. Like, if I'm having a bad day, it really affects me. Yeah. And then other days, it's like water off a duck's back. Like, it generally doesn't bother me. But I'm quite a self-destructive person. I'm like, if I'm in a bad mood, everything's bad. Yeah. Like, I hate the way I look. I want to read into everything that people are saying about me, and I just literally am on a path of going down. But if I'm like feeling good about myself, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I do it too. I self-torture and then I will spiral out of control.
Yeah,
and
literally.
I thought at this point in my life I would be all right. I could like rationalise it and go, I know how this works.
Yeah.
This is fine. But I think it's really important to say it still affects you. And because we need to see everybody as human beings who have lives. I'm not talking about just people in the public eye. This goes for anybody, whether it's circles at school or colleagues at work who are having a tough time. It's so important that we don't just look at that digital screen and disconnect from the humanness, because your documentary again hit home, and I had a massive I'm going to tell you this. I watched it with my husband. I had a huge cry afterwards because I thought I didn't honour the time when I went through something. It wasn't as public as you on a level of sort of bullying, I don't think, but I felt really vilified and really bullied, and I just kept thinking, well, there must be something I'm wrong, so I deserve this. I really believed that I deserved it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I really sat there and thought, maybe it's all right that I feel really upset about all that, rather than no, I just had to get through it, or any situation in life where I felt dismissed or not seen or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a good release for me and a good chance to look back and go, God, that's really a lot to get through. And I don't want it to sound like, oh, God, poor you, because people have been through far worse. But I don't think I ever honoured it.
But you're still human. And like, just because people may go through worse situations, like, you're still human with feelings, and you're absolutely in your own right to feel the way you feel. And that's like it's okay. Like, I think like I'm very similar in that sense. Like, I just was like, I just need to deal with this. And I never ever spoke about it because I just wanted to move past it and try and forget about it. But it made it 10 times worse. And I think through doing my documentary, I really realised that speaking to someone and genuinely like speaking my truth and letting people know really, really helped.
Have you ever looked at what you think the root fear might be when in context of those comments? Because I've sometimes thought, right, if someone's saying something really shitty about me, or back in the day when they would say all sorts of things, what is my real fear here? It can't just be people don't like me. Like, what does that even mean? I'm still safe, no one can hurt me. So what is my root fear? And I kept like going back and like underneath another fear. And I think my root fear is that I reject myself all the time.
Yeah.
So if they're rejecting me, maybe I am, all those awful things I think, and I should reject myself. But then what does that mean? Like, how do I live in this body and with these thoughts if I'm constantly rejecting myself? And I think it's an interesting process, because the fear that we think up here, oh, people don't like me, that's never really it. Do you think you know what's on those sort of subterranean levels of worry or fear?
No, but I know that I don't like people not liking me. Like, I know that's a big thing for me. Like, because when I have, like, it really, really does affect me when I see people say like horrible things. And like, I don't know, I've never actually really delved into that. Maybe that's something I need to do.
Yeah, because I think it takes the heat off the action, because then if you think, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I do have days, like when I'll generally sit, like when I'm having like shitty days and it affects me, I'll sit with my friends and they'll like probably like sit me down and be like, Jesy, do you really care about these people who literally do not even know you? They know nothing about you other than what they've seen. Like, do you actually care about what they think? Because the people that you should really care about and value opinions of are the people that love you and care about you. If we were saying this stuff to you, then I'd understand. And then I'll be like, okay, and I'll like check myself and I'll be like, okay. But I don't know, like, why when I'm having bad days, it really, like, I wish that I could just go throughout life, even when I'm having a bad day, I've just genuinely not given a shit.
Me too. I really do. And I really hope that I get there soon. Like, I'm always working towards it, and I'm definitely making big improvements, but I am so inclined to self-loathe. Like, it's just a little under the surface.
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, I could say one thing that I think, oh, that wasn't quite right, or anything, and that's it. I will literally then go, I'm a bad mum, I'm a shit wife, I'm a terrible selfish friend, and I've created a whole story about that, which I think so many people do, but it's just then getting yourself out of that is...
So when you're like in that place, do you find it easy to get out of, or?
No, I could stew on that for days.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting better. It's getting quicker.
Yeah.
I think because I have had a lot of therapy, And actually, the one thing that's helped me massively is having, I never get the letter order right, EMDR, I think it is, which is an eye movement therapy.
Okay.
But you can do like a tapping therapy as well.
Yeah.
That's taken the sort of panic side out of it. So when I self-loathe, it might be only a day, whereas before I could lose, I'm not even joking when I say 6 months of like feeling that bleak about myself. And like just like actually quite, this is, like gross. I'd feel gross, like I'm a gross person. And even not just physically, I'm just talking I'm a gross person. And I think it hasn't helped being in the public eye for so long because I've had it for way more than half my life.
Yeah.
And but it's quicker now. It's much quicker. How about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. It's definitely quicker. But I've also got like people around me that are very quick to be like, tell me about it.
Yeah.
So that obviously helps. But, you know, I do think that I am definitely getting better, but I'm exactly the same. Like, I don't know if it's like because I'm a Gemini, but like when I am down, I feel sorry for the people that are around me because I'm not a nice person to be around.
Same.
And literally just everything's shit.
Yeah.
And it could be like, I could actually look really good in a photo and I'll be like, it's disgusting, I hate it, don't even show it to me. And it's just crazy, like how I'll literally like just self-destruct.
Well, you just latch onto anything you can because it's sort of feeding it,
and
isn't
I
it,
can't
almost?
seem to like get myself out of it. I can't seem to just ever find a positive. I'm a very, God, I'm really not painting a very good picture of myself, but I'm more likely to find a negative than I am a positive.
Yeah. I think I'm the same. And I think also it's sort of woven into our culture that we're not very celebratory about ourselves. We never go, but God, I'm really good at that.
Yes, but if you do that, then you're seen as cocky or arrogant.
Which is so bad.
Yeah, but I do think it's this country because I feel
do.
like in America, they're like, they celebrate being confident. And over here, if you're like, a little bit confident in yourself, you're seen as arrogant and cocky and like people just want to bring you down.
I know, we've got to change that because how are we going to like ourselves if we can't say it out loud? And
Exactly.
say, like I did a really silly thing the other day. My dad taught me how to do wallpapering because I've wanted to know for ages. It's deeply tragic. And I was so good at it instantly and I loved it. I did 2 rooms and my dad was like, how are you doing this? And I even saying out loud, I'm so good at it. But I fucking was. I was really good at wallpapering.
But why shouldn't you say that?
Don't know.
It's like I put up a post not long ago, like saying like we find it so much easier to like put ourselves down than we do to like big ourselves up, and that's not
healthy.
No, it's not helpful. It's not healthy. It's not normal.
No.
Like, we should be like, if we feel good, like, I look fucking good today.
Quite. We absolutely should.
Like,
and so to flip that on its head, so we've looked at negative comments and the fear that brings up and the feelings that are all ours, you know, they don't belong to other people. There are feelings that come up. When we look at, say you put a post up on Instagram, as an example, and you got 1 million likes, everybody loves it, all the comments are just, oh my God, you look amazing, you are amazing, blah, blah. Does that really hit the spot? Does that really boost you and make you feel like, yeah, I'm all right?
yeah, probably, which is really sad, isn't it?
No, you're being honest.
Well, because it's like, in a way, you're getting people's approval and validation, aren't you? It's like people are saying, oh yeah, like I like what you're doing, like. And then as soon as people are negative, that's when you start to like question yourself and like doubt what you're doing. Yeah, it's not good.
Well, I guess it's a hard place to get to. I'm not there, but I guess the place we're all wanting to get to is contentment where it just doesn't matter what anyone says.
Yeah.
And if you posted a picture where you thought you looked or sounded or said something amazing, if no one else agreed, that you could still feel those feelings. It's not easy.
No. And it's just crazy because I could put something up that I absolutely love, and then as soon as like if I was to see a few bad things about it, I then start to question it, and it's like, why do we do that? If I love it, it shouldn't really matter what anyone else thinks.
No, and everybody loves to have a little say these days about anything.
Yeah, like,
and create some sort of argument.
Yeah, a drama, and I'm just like, just piss off and just be nice. Like, it's not hard to be nice. Like, it really isn't.
No.
And honestly, I do sit and think that, like, when I see like these things that people write on my posts, I think, what are you actually doing right now at home? Like, I want to know what this person looks like, and I want to know what they're feeling. And I'm like, because it must take so much energy to genuinely want to pick up your phone and be like, do you know what? I want to say something really shitty about her.
Yeah.
I can't ever imagine doing that.
Do you know what I did once? I mean, I've probably only done it once or twice, but someone put something really unwarranted on a post. I think I put something about mental health and they put like yawn.
Oh God, I can't.
So I thought that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I thought, I'm going to have a little chat with her.
Yeah.
So I reached out in a nice way. I'm not up for an argument. I'm not even judging that person. But I'm just really interested as to why you would post it. And she put back this lovely thing just saying, you know what? I feel like such an idiot. I was having a really shit day and I just wanted to say something negative and release it out of myself.
How funny that she was having a shit day.
And then we had a really nice chat after that, and we had a really nice dialogue going.
But this is exactly my point. People that say negative things are either not happy. Because no genuinely happy person would ever do that or feel the need to do that.
I know. Well, how do you say your self-worth is today? If we take away all of that, you take away all your fans, you take away Instagram, you take away any commentary about who you are, what you look like. It's just you sat on this sofa right now. How is your self-worth?
I mean, I feel pretty good within myself, like especially mentally, definitely, because I mean, I couldn't say that like how many months ago, from like October, I was in a really, really bad place. But it's just genuinely like just having time to myself, being around like my friends and my family. Like I never got to do that, and like I said, like lockdown was the only time I got to do that, and that was when I really realised, oh wow, this is what makes me happy. So I genuinely, hand on my heart, could say that if this was all taken away from me, I know that I could still be just as happy going back to being a barmaid, and as long as I've got my friends and family around me, that's all I need. Like I know that because I've experienced it, and I know that that's genuinely what made me happy.
It's really interesting. I was just thinking when you were talking there, and like from watching your documentary before, so when you were a barmaid and you were just, you know, you were doing some brilliant manifesting, thinking I'm going to win X Factor, which you then went on to do, which is amazing and so powerful. But you were happy and you'd never given your image a thought. You were just doing your thing.
No.
Much like before I started in TV, didn't even think about it at all. And I had some seriously horrendous haircuts and outfits, whatever. But I didn't care. I didn't give a shit. So really, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of your trauma and also a lot of the depression is based around what you look like.
Yeah.
But that's not even your problem because you didn't have it before.
Yeah.
It's other people have created a problem.
Yeah.
That feels like you've got to carry it around.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because even when, like, in my documentary, when the lady was like, because I had such a issue with like watching old videos back of me and watching old interviews and performances, and I genuinely got embarrassed by like looking at how I looked, because that was what people had made me like believe. Yeah. And she was like, but you know that girl got you to where you are now. Like, you shouldn't hate that girl or be embarrassed, because that girl is why you're here now and having all the success that you've got. And I was like, oh fuck, I've never actually truly like thought about it like that.
She won you the X Factor.
Literally.
Like, what an amazing version of you. I so know those feelings, because I mean, God, if I look at any pictures of myself I can't deal, because there was a huge period of my career where no one had a stylist. It wasn't even a thing back then.
Yeah.
And you would probably do your own makeup, and I had some horrendously questionable things going on looks-wise. But more than that, way more than that, because that I can think, oh God, it's a bit tragic, but kind of cute. But the decisions that I made, and I think because I had low self-worth, I got into dynamics that were so toxic and unhealthy. And from the age I'm at now, I can look back and think, God, I was so walked over there, or someone completely took the piss out of me there, or used me, or whatever. Why did I let that happen? Like, I find that version of me so hard to make peace with. And I feel embarrassed that I used to be like that I wasn't sort of this confident, strong-willed. I mean, I looked confident maybe on the TV, but I wasn't confident in my decision-making and who I hung out with. I was just going, oh, I think I need to be doing this because everyone else is doing it and they look cool or whatever. And I would never do that now. I couldn't give a shit. Obviously, that's age and experience, but I find it so hard to like that me. And I know that I've got to integrate that me with me now. But it almost feels impossible at times. Do you think you've done that? Have you made proper peace with that, Jesy?
No, not completely, but like I've definitely I've come a long way. But like I said it in the documentary, like just the littlest things. Like if I would get into a relationship with someone, I'd think, oh my God, if they're going to Google me, they're going to see all these old pictures of me, and they're not going to want to go on a date with me. Like, that's how my head used to work. Like, because I hated that version of me so much because of what people had said about me. Whereas now, like, that doesn't even enter my head now. But no, I still don't think I'm like, because I still, like, if I ever do see old clips like played on the telly or old music videos, like I still get this little bit of like, not anxiety, but like an uncomfortable feeling. And I know that that's me still not fully like accepting that version of me, which is crazy.
Do you think you still try and run away from her? Because I think I still run from the old me, because I had a lot of, well, sometimes I still do have like this insecurity that I didn't do well at school because I was already working when I was a kid. So I barely did my exams. I didn't go to university, obviously, or anything like that. And I've had to confront that by interviewing lots of super smart people who've, you know, got degrees or whatever, masters, or they're expert in a subject. And I'm constantly trying to run away from that old me by going, you know, got to read more books, got to do this, got to learn about that. But I'm not doing it because I want to just expand my mind. I'm doing it because I'm so scared that I might still be the girl from Pinner who fucked up at school and whatever, and I'm actively running from her still. Do you think you do that?
No, because I feel like I've addressed the situation, which I didn't do before. So like I just used to, like I didn't want to watch any videos, I didn't want to look back at any old pictures. I just literally just wanted to like erase that time of my life because I was so embarrassed by that version of me. Whereas now, like I can, like, as much as I'm still like, oh, like when it comes up and I'm like, God, I'm not like, I can't not look at it. Like I can deal with it now and I'm like okay with it, and I don't like shit myself if I go on a date and think they're going to Google me, like little things like that. But yeah, no, I'm still definitely like not completely 100% with it.
And how are you with that erasing of time? Because I've done that. I've still blocked loads of stuff out. And when I spoke to a therapist about this, she said she kind of did a bit of backtracking and thought, right, if you're having panic attacks because of this, this, and this, it's probably because you haven't integrated that part of your memory still. You're like actively blocking it out, and that's causing you to feel like you're out of your body, which is my panic attack. Is I'm leaving my body, I'm physically not in it, I'm floating over here somewhere. So my work is to try and get all those years back and think, okay, this stuff happened, but it's fine. Do you still delete sections of your life?
No, I wouldn't say that I do.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And how's the panic?
So I had them in the very beginning of like being in the band, and obviously I'd never experienced anything like that in my life, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is awful. And then they went away, and then obviously like right before I left the band, they started resurfacing. I started having panic attacks again, and I was like, what is going on? And that's when I knew that something wasn't right, because I was like, performing is my thing. Like that is it's crazy, because even though I never had confidence to just like fully be myself when I was on stage, I guess it's because you kind of play a character when you're on stage. I'm not fully myself. I'm not really Jesy when I'm on stage. I like become a kind of like how Beyonce, Sasha Fierce. The girls always used to say to me, God, like, I'm so jealous that you don't get nervous. And I actually used to get pissed off that I didn't get nervous, because for me, if I get nerves before I go on stage, it gives me adrenaline, which is what I really need before I go on stage. And so when I was like going on and doing Live Lounge, and I literally had a panic attack right before I was about to go on, which has never happened before. I was like, why is this happening? I couldn't understand like why I was having a panic attack when that was the thing I was best at. That was the thing I was most confident to do. And I knew that like something wasn't right. And then it just kept happening. Like I was doing music videos, having panic attacks on music videos, and it just got worse and worse.
But it is a sign. It is a sign that something needs to give.
It's your body telling you. It literally is.
Well, and you've massively addressed that now, because you've changed everything and you're making it work for you. I mean, how was it being in the studio for the first time completely on your own, doing your own thing? It's your music, it's your expression. How did that feel?
It was really fun, but I think it felt more fun as well because it was people that I'd already worked with. They were friends, so I felt in quite a safe environment. I guess if I'd have gone in with people that I'd never worked with before, and I think that would have been way more daunting. But I loved it, and it was just really nice, like writing songs about like experiences that I've been through. So it is like therapy, and you get the best songs out of whatever you're feeling. Like if I'm feeling something that day, I'm like, I need to get in the studio and write a song about this.
It's a gift from feeling shit, is writing or whatever it is,
literally.
expression.
And I was going through a breakup at the time as well. So when I was in the studio, like I've honestly wrote some really bloody good songs because of it. So yeah, but it really is like therapy, and I love it so much.
And how are you feeling about getting all of that new music out there for everybody to hear it and embrace it?
I just can't wait, because this is like my true authentic self. Like this is me. Like this is the music I've generally always wanted to make. So yeah, and it's just nice for like people to really see like the real me, the true, like this is the artist I've genuinely always wanted to be. Like don't get me wrong, like I loved what we did in Little Mix, but it's completely different to what I would do as a solo artist. So yeah, I just can't wait, and I hope that like there's some songs on there that I'm so proud of that I've written, that I really hope when people like listen to them that it actually helps them, and that's what I really want to get out of my music. I want people to listen to my album and genuinely be like, oh fuck, she's feeling how I'm feeling, and like, because there's been times when I've felt really shit and I've listened to like a certain artist and their song has generally made me feel better.
Same here.
Like music is so powerful.
I know, I love it.
Yeah.
It's the like that actually is a bit of a game changer for me if I'm feeling shit, is having some really good music that I know will lift me.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, it really, really is. It can
So
either
good.
make you feel so sad or it can make you feel like, honestly, like I can be feeling really shit, and if I put a song on that makes me feel like a fucking bad bitch, I can literally like change into a completely different person. It's crazy.
Yeah, I love that. A bad bitch song. I need to find. I don't have it located my bad bitch song, but I have located loads of songs that make me cry, and I love a good cry.
Yeah, crying's the best.
Crying is so good.
But everyone thinks that you shouldn't cry. Like I've said this so many
it.
times. Like why? When we cry, do we like go? Are we like stop ourselves from
I
crying?
know. It's because we feel vulnerable.
But
we feel
when we
exposed.
laugh, like no one goes, oh, stop yourself from laughing.
I know.
It's just a bloody emotion. If you feel sad, be fucking sad.
Get it
but
out.
We don't let ourselves do that, which is why I think so many people struggle with mental health, and like, because we just don't allow ourselves to feel how we want to feel, and we kind of mask it and just try to crack on, and it actually makes it worse.
It does. And I think you've mentioned so many times throughout this chat, like how important it is to have these people around you, whether it's your friends, whether it's people you worked with previously that you need in place.
Yeah.
I think it's so important, because if you've got people around you who aren't willing to give you the space, who don't say, okay, well, tell me more about that, or who just go, oh, well, there's people who have far worse going on or whatever, and they shut you down. That is so detrimental to you moving through it, because you just get stuck in it.
Yeah,
so it seems like that is such an important thing for you, well, everyone, to have that soul team in place that are going to be there for you.
I'm just going to be honest, like the team that I had prior to what I've got now, like didn't care, genuinely didn't, and that was something that really led me to feeling depressed and wanting to not do it anymore, because I genuinely felt like no one gave a shit. And when I voiced that I was struggling, no one cared. And that was like a real thing for me of like, okay, wow, like I'm just generally here to just do my job. Like, and yeah, now like obviously I've got a new team and I'm around like people that genuinely love and care about me, and it makes such a difference. So I think when you are struggling, when you're feeling that way, it's so important to be around people that genuinely love you and care about you and just want the best for you.
Well, also, I think the hardest thing when you're struggling is feeling like you're alone in it.
And that is what I felt. Like I felt really alone. And I almost like then felt like when I was coming to work, like, you know, you can just feel like an energy of people just not wanting you to be there. And I hated that. Like I hated walking into a room thinking people don't want me to be here. And when you're already feeling shit, like, yeah, it's just, that's a hard environment to be in.
How much of that do you think was your own paranoia versus what was really going on?
I don't think there was paranoia, like, if I'm being honest. Like, there's, like, certain things that went on and happened that spoke the truth, really. So, yeah.
And it's, you know, it's hard to get out of that, isn't it? I've been in situations like that at work where I've thought, God, I really don't think people like me. And I have questioned, is that me being, like, dramatic? Am I putting myself in this position? But I think you know.
Yeah, massively.
You can feel it.
Well, I could tell because when I wasn't at work and I was around my friends and family, like, I felt like a different person. And then I'd walk back into work and I'd question like, God, am I like a knob? Am I like hard to deal with? And I just questioned myself all the time. But then as soon as I wasn't at work, like I felt like Jesy, like the one who my friends and family really love. But like it was just an energy and an aura of just, I just felt like people didn't want me to be there or wanted to be around me and didn't want to really address that I was not in a good place and was kind of just like, well, you kind of just need to crack on and get on with it.
Well, I guess this is as cynical as it gets, but we know what this industry can be like. There's no time to feel down.
No.
I didn't have that when I was in a bad place. It was like there was no time for me to have a day off work. I couldn't.
It's not good.
It's not good. It's not good for anyone. I know there's millions of people, there's lots of people that listen to this podcast who feel deeply alone in it and deeply depressed, and their boss isn't going to say you can have a day off or a week off or however long you need off to sort of get some kind of help or support. It's really hard. I think the infrastructure that we're working with on a societal level doesn't allow time for mental problems. Physical it will, because you might have to go and have something sorted or whatever, but the mental one, because it's usually invisible, there's still such disparity between you're physically ill, you have time off, or you're mentally very unwell, have time off. There's still there's a taboo around that still that I think's not great, and there's a lot of people suffering because of that.
Yeah, which is why people don't talk about it and why they struggle. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure who you spoke to first, but did you feel worried that there would be concerns about if you could carry on doing what you were doing if you spoke up? Because I think I certainly had that. Like, if I say how I'm really feeling, will I still have a bloody job here? Because I don't know if I will.
Yeah. Well, I just remember, obviously, the first time. So, like, obviously, I'd, like, taken an overdose. I went into hospital, and then I had a music video, like, a week after. And obviously, my mum found out, and she was distraught, and she was like, right, this is it. You're not doing this anymore. Like, because my mum's the kind of mum that's like, I genuinely couldn't give a shit what you do as long as you're happy. Yeah. That's all I care about. Yeah. So she was like, no, this isn't happening anymore. I'm like putting my foot down, and you're coming out of this. And obviously, I didn't know what to do at the time because it was very early stages of Little Mix as well. And I just remember going in, talking about it, and I was told, well, you know, if you take time off, then it's just going to cause articles, and then there's going to be loads of press around it. So then what are you going to do? And I don't think that's a good idea. And it was kind of just brushed under the carpet. And then I was told, well, you should just go on antidepressants. There was no, like, you know, let's address this. Let's, like, sort this out. Let's, like, properly take time. Like, there was no, like, actual concern for me. It was just more like, oh, God, well, what's everyone going to say? And, like, and I was just like, oh, okay. So I just brushed under carpet, did the music video the next week, and it was like nothing ever happened. And I think that's what led to, like, it just got worse.
Well, you carry that shit around.
Yeah.
You can't move. You can't just move on to it and do a music video. It's still all there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess there is always a breaking point, and yours has been to change your whole life, and it's going to be for your mental well-being.
Yeah.
And for your happiness.
Yeah, and I know I've made the right decision because, like, this might sound really bad, but, like, I haven't woke up and thought, oh, and had that feeling of, have I made the right decision? Like, I know I have, and yeah, I just mentally, with how I feel, like, I genuinely feel like this is what feeling happy should feel like. And I feel that like that a lot more than just like every like now and then, which is what I used to feel. It was very rare that I actually felt happy.
Do you think if you'd told yourself whilst you're in Little Mix that you could feel happy again, that you would have believed it?
No. And I just got so used to just feeling like that. And like I said, you don't, honestly, like, I sound like I'm like, oh, get the strings out, but it's fucking hard being in a girl band. It's literally like a machine. Like, you don't have any time to just be or just do what you actually want to do. Like, and yeah, it's a lot to deal with.
And you don't feel that now? That's gone?
Yeah, because I like if I wake up and my manager goes to me, Jesy, this is coming for you today. Do you want to do this? I have the choice to say no, I don't, or yes, I do. I didn't have that before. So like, if I was waking up and I genuinely had days when I would wake up and think, how am I going to get out of bed today? Like, I feel so depressed. I don't know how I'm going to get out of bed today. And I would have to go and do a photo shoot and wear a bloody bikini and act like I was fucking loving life. And that was what was really hard for me, that I didn't have any control. I felt like I had no control over my life. And it sounds like I sound really selfish saying that, because there's so many people that would be like, well, then you shouldn't have got into the industry, like, because that's what comes with it. But at the same time, I'm like, well, no, not really. Like, I didn't come into this industry for people to literally tear me down because of what I look like.
No, nobody, that should never have happened, and nobody deserves that at all. And I think maybe it's an age thing as well. Like, we all end up wanting to go our own way and have a bit more control over life, and we know what we like a bit more, and we have the confidence to say it out loud.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do think it definitely comes with age as well. Like, it's like 10 years. Like, it's a very, very long time. And we were all kind of like going off to do our own things anyway. But yeah, no, like, I loved being in Little Mix, and it's like, I've had the most incredible memories, but like now, like, I want to start a new journey, and yeah, it's exciting.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited for
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see what you do next. And as I said at the start, I'm just so glad to see that you're happy.
Thank you so much.
That's all that matters.
It is, though. Like, I honestly believe that in life, you just got to make yourself happy and you live once. Life is too fucking short to be doing shit that don't make you happy.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.